Hi, I'm Ashwani Gattani. I'm the Senior Business Process Manager in Finance BI organization at Microsoft. I will be talking about the advanced analytics applications, one of them identifying contract risk with Azure Cognitive Services called CVL or Cognitive Visual Learning. In this session, we will cover the business need for the tool, the impact that it has created, the different Microsoft technologies that we have employed to make this tool very powerful, and a glimpse of the tool's various features, followed by the key takeaways. In 2018, Microsoft became the early adopters for the new revenue recognition guidelines, which made the complexity to the finance controller team's review process very hard. Along with this new complexity, the team also had to scale to meet Microsoft's growing business needs, increasing more than ever. Another challenge was that 30% of the reviews in the volume licensing space on an annual basis resulted in the adjustments within the contracts. Considering all these factors, we found an excellent opportunity to enable the review process and ensure the risk prioritization of the financial statements correctness, but not increasing the headcount to deliver them. And this opportunity is called Cognitive Visual Learning Solution or CVL, which could identify the risk contracts based on the key categories and business logic where the review team can prioritize their efforts, integrate into existing ecosystem to become an integral part of the review process, enable searching within the contract contents to perform more in-depth analysis as required, and lastly, support different languages for the contracts to meet the global needs of the business. This slide represents how the business process will change over time and how CVL will deliver the key impacts and add value to the overall contract risk prioritization process. Before the tool came into picture, all the contracts over a business defined threshold were getting reviewed, and the risk identified was only on the basis of the materiality of the contract. The team here does two types of reviews. One was the basic review, which typically takes around 1 week for a reviewer to complete. And then there was a full review that takes 3 to 4 weeks of two reviewers. If we go back in fiscal year 19, the team carried out around 2,800 full contract reviews. This model was a challenge in terms of scalability as the contracts were increasing by the day. With the inception of the tool, all the contracts above the threshold were fed to the CVL tool, and the tool, with the power of Azure machine learning, determined whether the team should conduct a full review versus the basic review. This led to significant efficiency for the team, enabling them to focus on the higher risk contracts, allowing a higher compliance ROI for the process. Lastly, it gave a great boost to the scalability as machine was filtering many basic reviews, leaving only the higher priorities contracts to work on. As we progress, the plan is to remove any thresholds, feed all the documents to the tool, and let the tool decide whether to go for a basic review or a full review. The tool will also recommend whether a document needs to be adjusted and a potential range of adjustment amount forecasted by the machine itself as per the historical trends. This would then be supported by a human-driven feedback loop to improve the overall machine learning output. These changes will result in the highest ROI in the review process, and the ongoing feedback would improve the machine to identify the new risk factors meeting the evolving needs of the business. A quick look at the different Azure Cognitive Services and the technology slide, which empowers CVL tool to become a robust risk scoring solution. We exploit the Azure Cognitive Services, which uses OCR algorithms to extract the data from the text-heavy documents with numbers in it. This can be processed and translated using Azure Text Analytics and Microsoft Translator and fed to Azure Machine Learning model to predict the risk scores for the review and its associated documents. We also use Azure Search Service to enable the search within the contracts, allowing reviewer to do a more in-depth analysis as and when needed. We also save our scrub data to Azure SQL and all the process document to Azure Blob, enabling us to embed CVL to the end-to-end review ecosystem. And lastly, we use logic apps to send different notification emails to all the stakeholders at every step of the process to ensure everyone is up to date about the different stages of the risk prediction process. I know you must be very excited by now, so let's have a sneak peek on how tool actually works. We have a simple but very effective web portal that allows us to look at all the reviews and documents and filter them as per the user criteria. The search bar on the top looks for specific categories or tags in all the reviews supporting the document filter criteria. For example, let's say user has searched for the keyword text or test in the search bar. The portal will display the ML score for all the documents which has test keyword in them along with the parent review with its total score. It also displays the different tags and categories driving the higher or the lower machine learning score for that document and the overall review. And lastly, the portal allows the explorable hyperlinks to all the pages of the documents falling under the search criteria for further analysis. As you click on any of these hyperlinks, it would open the actual page on the contract and highlight all the occurrences in yellow where the search tag is present in the document itself. And lastly, we have a very powerful analytical dashboard built on Power BI, which enables us to review how the tool performs after every cycle. It also helps us to find out the different categories, the risk scores for all the reviews and the documents, and how the machine is performing against the human categorization of the review, enabling us to take the next steps to improve the tool. Now, I would leave you here with three takeaways. First, we need to think about the cohesive ecosystem than the silo machine learning and AI projects. If we have a look at the CVL tool, it can be broken down into mini AI and machine learning solutions like knowledge mining, machine learning modeling, and searching in the scanned documents. We believe an integrated approach that combines various AI work streams will lead to the development of more sophisticated tools that can help perform more complex and multifaceted tasks. The second is that we need to think of AI as a tool amplifying human ingenuity. Over the course of our journey, we have realized that we have started with team members spending a little extra effort in training the modules to perform as per our needs. However, once fully operational, we could reap exponential benefits from the machines with very little tuning to help evolve them with the new changes in the market. Finally, I must confess that we have not yet figured it all out. However, we have just taken a few steps towards our success journey. We believe there is a lot more potential to exploit AI and machine learning technology, which would empower us all to be more productive and efficient, driving much better business outcomes. Thanks for watching the session. I hope you have learned how CVL has helped in improving the overall effectiveness of our risk prioritization system, and you can also apply Azure Cognitive Services and machine learning application to bring in effectiveness and productivity in your finance processes.